We are back! Back in business, boy. The boys are back in town. What's going on, guys? Hey, you still muted there. See, we a little rusty.
I was muted.
We a little rusty, but we back in it.
I got wait, hold up. Run that back. Run that back.
Oh yeah, I gotta run it back. I gotta run it. Run it back. Run it back. What?
There's no way. There's no way.
My mic just my camera just listen. Got it.
Run it back. Run it back.
Third time's a charm. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. What's going on,
Nets fans? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Young Guns podcast. It's been 7 months because it's been 7 months since I was last on YouTube, man. But first episode of the 2023 season, second episode, you guys already know where it is. Next week. Back on my channel. Third episode, you know where it is at. 2 weeks from now, back on this channel. Can we figure out where the fourth episode is gonna be? It's a mystery. Yes. I'm not gonna tell you yet.
Yeah, take a mystery. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back in.
How y'all
doing?
Doing?
Back. The Young Guns podcast is back. Giants football is back. We got a lot to talk about, catch up with you guys. Like Kush said, it's been like 7 whole months, man. It hasn't really been 7 months since we did it.
We
did the draft, but like that's like the draft.
Yeah. First and foremost, shout out to everybody in here, man. Shout out to Yuvraj, shout out to Steve, shout out to Daniel Berry, shout out to Giants 1995. Yo, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the 16 people in here right now. You know the drill. It might have been 7 months. You might be a little rusty, but the drill is still the same. Make sure you smash that like button. hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, hit that share button so all
Yes.
the other Giants fans get in here and get the best community oriented Giants content that there is out there. All right. KB, to your question, it has actually. I was surprised. So I hit up KB like literally yesterday
Yeah,
because
it was yesterday.
it was yesterday. And just to give you all a quick rundown, so I finished college. I graduated. That was the main reason I had to step away from YouTube.
I wish I had a
Going into my
soundboard there to give you like, "What?" You know, man.
we gotta get a soundboard going
Yeah,
for
we gotta get
sure.
a soundboard, bro.
But that was like the main reason I stepped away from YouTube in the first place, and I let everybody know. So you guys already knew this beforehand. I was like, I'm going into my final semester. I want to like focus as much as I can just on this final semester so I could graduate, get my degree, and get going. Graduated basically end of May, beginning of June. That was amazing. Since then, it's been 2 months. What I've been doing, one full time on my part time job, and I've been trying to get in shape. KB could tell you now. KB,
Hey,
tell
my
him.
man's getting
Listen,
swole. He's putting in
I
the
was
work,
you
man.
can't see it because it's under this right now, and we gonna talk about this man at some point.
Yes,
But
sir. We
yeah,
will.
I've been trying to get healthier and then sending out job applications and whatnot. So I spent a lot of 2 months kind of focused on that, and also I needed time to wind down from college. Like it was a hard run. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's a little bit difficult, but I feel like we're coming back at the perfect time, KB, because
We
we
are.
did, like you said, we did cover the draft a little bit, and you guys know I got exactly who I wanted. KB got exactly who he wanted.
Yes, sir.
Training camp is like basically midway through. We finally got pads. Today was the first day of pads and whatnot. Got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, but we have some substance to talk about it with. You mentioned the Giants are back, KB. They might actually be back in more ways than you think. Do you know
Exactly.
Brett Coleman? Of course you know Brett Coleman. We talk about Brett Coleman
Yeah,
so
he
much.
just
Do you
released a
know
video,
the
didn't he?
video he did you know the video what he posted
I
today was?
literally, when I was sharing the stream from my phone, I literally pulled up YouTube to go to my channel to share, and that was the first video that popped up. And the title said the Giants might be the new Eagles. I'm like, and
And
we're
then in
not.
parentheses from 2 years ago. Because guess what?
Yeah,
We've said that before when we were consistently streaming last year, right? We've said that. We're like, the Giants are headed on this great, terrific, magnificent path of being a contender. And I remember I said, give it like 2 to 3 years and we'll be a Super Bowl contender. And I still believe that. And like other people are seeing it now. It still might be an early prediction. But yo, just go ahead and tell me what you think.
yeah. As far as that goes, especially with what we're seeing right now in training camp, we're gonna get into training camp, guys. Do not worry. We're gonna talk about all that great stuff. But like, just a little like snippet of it. This is the best training camp I've seen in such a long time. Like we have great defensive plays, we have great offensive plays. I mean, like it actually looks like this is going to be a great year for the Giants. Like, we would have to cope and kind of like use our hope, as much hope as we can when we've seen training camp from years past, and like, oh, if the Giants could just get this right and Giants could just get
Bro,
that
the
right.
copium was at an all-time
Exactly.
high.
Exactly. And now it just seems like, bro, we're getting posted by like Pro Football Focus and all
Be
these.
like BR gridiron, the
Yeah.
NFL account themselves. It's just like, hold up.
They're posting
Why
like
y'all posting this right now,
highlights.
bro?
Yeah. Yeah. If you weren't
Like,
with us at our
I
lowest,
don't
you
like
ain't with
it.
us at our highest, bro.
Exactly. I don't like it, bro. Like stay off. Hop off, bro. Hop off real quick.
Oh, man.
You
I,
you
I
you doing a
definitely got
little
to.
you're doing a little too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that type of vibe.
I definitely have to check out Brett Coleman's video. They just mentioned he posted 5 hours. It's a whole hour and a half. I can't wait to dive
It's
into
on
that.
my watch list. So
Yeah.
just quick fun fact. I'm going on vacation literally tomorrow. I like KB right before we started, I finished packing.
Oh,
But
snap.
it's like a small trip to DC, right? Maybe I'll try and go see the Redskins stadium. I don't know, but I don't want to because apparently it's the worst stadium in the NFL, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
It's terrible.
who
Terrible.
knows? But the reason I bring that up is because if it's an hour and a half video, you know for sure I'm gonna watch it. Perfect thing to watch on the train ride there. Train ride there.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell
Perfect thing
yeah.
to
Birth
watch
of
on the train
time, and
right
it's
there.
gonna be all about Giants.
Exactly.
Oh,
And speaking of Giants, of course, you guys know that we are very appreciative of you guys. Like I'm so thankful for y'all right now that are in here. For anybody else that's gonna pop in as the stream goes on, because KB can speak to this. Well, we were talking right before what I'm going through right now in terms of a little bit my hiatus. He went through something very, very, very similar a couple years ago, and it's doing YouTube ain't easy. So I appreciate you guys sticking with us. I appreciate y'all continue to support my boy over here, KB, when he posting the videos, because I'm keeping track. I'm subscribed. I'm seeing the videos do well, and I really, really thank you guys for all the love and appreciation and the loyalty, man. I will say that to kind of segue into big shout out to Talking Giants as usual. They do a fantastic job at this time of the year. They're not insiders, but they're as close to insiders as you can get when it
And
comes to the Giants
the
players.
coolest guys you could meet, man.
Absolutely
Yeah.
the coolest guys. My only regret about not having a chance to go to training camp this year is when I went last year, it was a great time hanging out with them as it was, seeing the players literally like 5 feet from you. Like that's actually a crazy experience. But they've been doing a great job. And Talking Giants said, going back to what you said, KB, there's no coping this year. Justin specifically, he was like, this Giants offense looks so good in training camp, it might actually be for real. And he said for real because he's comparing it to years past where we had to cope with it. Yeah. He's like, this thing might actually be a top offense in the NFL. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is actually so amazing.
And with that, we are going to segue into our main topic of the day.
Good job. Now to get to work.
Oh, I like that.
Giants.
I like the intro.
Time to get to work, baby. The Giants training camp recap, man. This has probably been the most hype and optimistic that I've ever been for a Giants season because of training camp. I mean, going back, I've been on YouTube a while now. Going back years from now from when I first started, it's always been like try to get the best things out, nitpick and cherry pick, try to get the best things out of training camp that you can, and try to hope that the bad things you see in training camp don't translate into the season. Bro, what I'm seeing in training camp is just mind-boggling, especially what I'm hearing. Obviously, I'm not there. I wish to go one day to training camp, but what we're seeing in training camp right now is like the Giants are gonna be an elite team. That's what it feels like. Like they are playing like elite style football, like winning team football. Like if you were to go over there, like a lot of people have been going over there, you see this football team how they're practicing. First of all, I mean, we gotta cross our fingers here. Have you noticed nobody's been injured?
Why would you bring that up, bro?
But I had to. But I had to.
You brought stuff up so many times last season. You brought stuff up, during the season, and I was just like, every single time, like you're putting it out into the universe.
We gotta talk about this. This is our show. This is what we gotta
is there any wood around you? Pause. Knock on wood. Touch red.
Red. I got my audio interface thing. Yeah.
Come on, bro. All right. Real before I get to that, I do want to, of course, address the chat a little bit. Shout out to Tudo. Yeah. That's big supporter for a long time. Raj, are we doing a fantasy draft? I don't know yet. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
No idea.
If I do, I literally have to decide within the next couple of weeks. Steve, we can definitely work fantasy conversation into it because we will be talking about Saquon and stuff like that, obviously, and the offense when we get to it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Big Dash knows and Nova Nebula Scorpio.
Don't tell me. As well. Big Dash, who? Hey, that happened before I said it. Okay.
Did we? Who was it?
He said.
I did not know that.
I didn't know we had an injury, but.
In
we
terms
had
of
Hash and the depth lineman. I can never say his name, but he was
depth matters. But didn't we just sign a depth O lineman? From
because he got hurt. Because that
was it the Falcons or somewhere else?
Yeah, there we go. JC House Center.
Yeah.
We signed.
In terms of we might be.
10 years from now.
Yeah, no, I saw that. People are like Daniel Jones at the 10-year Super Bowl reunion. That was pretty funny. In terms of we might be an actual elite team now.
What up, Nova?
It's crazy because I have the crazy take, which is beginning not to look so crazy because a lot of people have it now, like the Giants Super Bowl team in 2 years, including this season. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I'm ready to say we're going to be an elite team this season. And I guess this probably is relevant to this conversation here, KB. How close are we to closing the gap on Dallas before we talk about closing the gap on Philly, because I don't think we're
That's
quite there yet with closing the gap on Philly, but I do think we are right there with closing the gap on Dallas. What do you think about that?
Well, I think to a very simple answer is we will know week one. That's definitely what I would say. We will know week one,
Bro,
because we faced them week one.
yo,
So
I didn't buy any of my tickets for games yet. If you're coming back up for any game this year?
we'll have to get together and see which one. Yeah, but
Yeah, because I didn't get any yet. I'm so strongly considering buying Sunday Night Football week 1, bro.
oh man,
Oh,
oh man.
but and that's saying something, because when we had like 5 straight years of Dallas week 1, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I'm like, we might get whooped. It's like tradition at this point.
Mhm.
This year,
I know. This year
hey,
it's
listen,
different. And you know, the
This
last time we beat Dallas week 1, 2016, we went to the playoffs. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
bro, ain't nobody care about the playoffs anymore. We are a playoff
I
team,
know
bro.
we are. We are.
What are we
We
talking
are.
about?
To
But
answer
yeah,
your
when it
question
comes
in
to
a more
when it comes to closing the gap,
to answer your question in a more like a specific way, I think we are very close. I think there is not much of a gap between the Giants and the Cowboys at this point. Of course, they have guys like Micah Parsons, but we also have guys like Dexter Lawrence. Like we have guys around the defense, guys around the offense, guys like Darren Waller is truly, even though he plays a tight end position, he is truly a player to take a team to the next level because of his ability. You see it in training camp. Nobody can stop this guy. Literally, the only time this guy has been stopped was a Xavier McKinney on a forced incomplete pass like 2 days ago. Okay, so that's like the only time this guy has been stopped. Other than that Jason Pinnock interception, I mean, that should have been a sack anyway. They just let it play out. But like Darren Waller is a factor. Dexter Lawrence is a factor in his second year after breaking out. I mean, we have younger guys like Jalen Hyatt to take the top off the defense. Like we've got guys to close the gap that we didn't
when we
have.
look at offseason additions too, KB, the only thing that stood out to me from Dallas, and it's not stood out to me in like I'm scared kind of way, it just stood out to me like that's actually a great move on Dallas's part. I love that move from a football standpoint. It's a move I wanted us to make. I think you know what I'm talking about, because I mentioned him a couple times in the offseason, was Brandon Cooks. Because every time Brandon Cooks goes somewhere, he's a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, bro.
Yeah, he's a
He
guy
was
that
in
can adjust to
Houston with
everything.
he was in Houston 1,000 yards. He was in LA 1,000 yards. He was
The Saints
the
1,000 yards. New
Patriots, I think,
England, yeah.
1,000 yards. Yeah, is he everywhere he goes is 1,000 yards. And I was just like, that's just a good signing to add more weapons to the offense. Let's keep it real though. For all the hate, you know about this. Oh, you know what grinds my gears, KB?
What is it? What is it?
For
What is it?
all the hate that Daniel Jones be getting, Dak Prescott deserves all of that, especially with turnovers.
I was just about to say that.
Did you guys see what Trayvon Diggs told that man during training camp? There's no Giants player doing that to Daniel Jones.
Bro, they're hugging him. They're hugging him.
No Giants players talking to him. Like, they do not respect Dak in Dallas. I'm keeping it so serious, bro.
Not only that, Coach, I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's not only that about Dak Prescott and how the way he's talked to and the way he's performing in training camp, because he's been throwing a lot of turnovers and a lot of terrible
remember
turnovers.
somebody, it might have been Dak himself or somebody else that said he's not throwing more than like 15 or 10 interceptions this year. That 11 interceptions about to hit Twitter like crack in the 80s, bro. Because that man's throwing 20 interceptions this year.
Yeah, but not only is Dak performances a good indicator that we're closing the gap, look at the difference in culture. Look at the difference in culture and the way they go about the team. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily have a problem with the whole Trayvon Diggs and Dak Prescott sort of thing, because you're around football situations. That's how they talk. You know what I mean?
That is how they talk. But I still, yeah, exactly.
They're still balling out, dominate. The offense are having wins against the defense, and the defense are having wins against the offense. And it's all respect. The culture is family, and it's not like backyard football trash talk. That's like, it's not that. So I love that you brought that up.
Like football talk, I agree. Football talk gets like that. But it's just like, yo, if you heard the way he said it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The way there's ways you say things, man. And I don't believe that they respect Dak Prescott on that team.
Yo, Dak stood shut, though. He was like,
he didn't say anything. Bro, his old lineman didn't say anything or do anything.
Right?
Like, you joking right now?
Listen, man.
So, yeah, they're not doing that to Daniel Jones. But getting back to what I originally brought up with the point is, with how all the hate DJ gets for turnovers and interceptions should really be on Dak. And how people used to say the Giants are only going as far as Daniel Jones takes them. The Cowboys are only going as far as Dak Prescott takes them.
Yeah,
And
and I
I
just feel
really
like
don't
one
want
thing
to
that's
sound like
true
I'll
about the
just
Giants, about the Giants thing.
about the Giants. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, about the Daniel Jones thing because there's just so much different factors. Like I said, Darren Waller, like Daniel Jones can just throw it up for Darren Waller, and that's not Daniel Jones leading the team. That's Darren Waller, and that's okay. That's okay. We also have Saquon Barkley. He's back on the 1-year deal. We also have Dexter Lawrence. That whole defensive line, dude. Yesterday and that fully padded practice yesterday, the whole defensive line, our starting defensive line, were absolutely killing the offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Besides Andrew Thomas, of course,
And
but
then
killing everybody.
I would say if there was a blanket statement I put on the Giants, like this, they go as far as this person takes them. And I feel like this is completely true. Oh, I just had a sneeze and a cough at the same time. Thank you. That was weird. Is the Giants will go as far as Brian Daboll takes them. This man didn't just win Coach of the Year. Yeah,
help the algorithm out, guys. Please, the YouTube
guys.
algorithm is the worst algorithm of any social media. Just help us out,
You
man.
you guys remember when I started my Rumble channel like a year ago, and now Rumble's actually popping? I might have to actually start posting on Rumble again. Rumble is actually like a top contender to YouTube now. That's a whole lot of conversation. But the Giants will take them as far as Coach Daboll takes them. He wasn't just Coach of the Year for no reason. I'm so glad he got that award. He got recognition because Brian Daboll is legitimately, and this is going to sound crazy, but he's legitimately a top 5 coach in the NFL. Think about that for a second.
He's very well respected in the league.
He's very highly respected. He's obviously super intelligent, and he's a great coach. I don't think it should be a debate whether or not he's a top 5 coach in the NFL. And because of him, we will go very far. We will go very far. And back to the Cowboys I'm not trying to sound like a Dak hater, but it's so weird. I don't think Dak has necessarily regressed. I just think this is who he is. And given with his coach pairing, I don't think they're going to go that far. I think the Cowboys, they're still going to be a first or second round exit. And I think we're going to be at worst like a divisional team like we were this past year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we have a really good shot, especially this year, to get second in the NFC East. Now, as much as we love to talk about what these Giants are doing right now, it is going to take a little bit of time to catch up to that Eagles team, man, because they are built, they are sustained, they are sustained for the future. But it's a good stepping stone to get ahead of Dallas. That's for sure. That's for sure.
And like I said, I definitely think that we're going to be there within a year or two. And getting back to, of course, the main topic at hand, right down here with training camp, for a while there, bro. For a while there, with the amount that the offense was in the kitchen and cooking, and I mean the offense was cooking.
I gotta get the stat line
for like a straight week and a half. I was legitimately worried, and this always happens. Like if the offense is cooking, you're like, is the defense bad? If the defense is cooking, like the offense is bad. But just because I didn't see a single winning day from the defense, I was like, yo, what's happening? But of course, as soon as it got a little bit more physical, KB, as we got closer to pads, the defense started picking it up, which makes sense. They can't do much if it's literally just out there against air, essentially, right? For the first couple of days of training camp.
Right.
I love what we're hearing, man. Offensive line, I do think it's improved, bro. Andrew Thomas got paid like he should get paid. Was there a topic for that, by the way, or can we talk about it right now?
Andrew Thomas, no, I didn't have a topic for that, but yeah, go ahead.
Andrew Thomas getting paid like he should get paid. I think he's the second highest offensive lineman when you go by average per year. I forget the O-lineman that's beating him out right now, and he should be the first highest, but I'm so glad AT took the deal early. He knew that he could have waited after this year, which is what we all expected, to get a more expensive deal, and that really just speaks to the type of guys we got in the locker room. Like, every team loves to speak about we have team first guys. This Giants team actually has team first guys. Andrew Thomas taking his deal a year early. He's still getting paid what he deserves, and he's getting paid in such a way that it helps out the team. Saquon Barkley, just to speak about it real quick, I'm so glad he's still in a Giants jersey. We've said this before, KB. I would have been heartbroken if Saquon was in any other jersey than the Giants, bro. I love Saquon as a Giants player more than I loved Odell as a Giants player, and I don't think it's close.
That's fair to say. That's completely
fair.
There's
a lot of reasons for that. And for those of you that I've said this before, Saquon is literally the reason I started my YouTube channel. He's the reason I got into being more of a Giants fan than I was back in the day. Shout out to Luann. What's up, Luann? it would have been really, really sad for me to see this man in another jersey, bro. I would have been a little distraught. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm
I
so glad
honestly
he came
had a
back.
yeah, I honestly knew there was gonna be a way he comes back. I've been saying it on Twitter and in my videos since then. Like he's gonna come back. He just doesn't seem like he'll leave us. Like maybe
Yeah.
we'll see what
Oh, did
happens
you
next
see
year.
what you saw the interview on the first day of training camp what he said? And once again, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes when people talk and it's on video, so you could visually see what they're saying, visually see the way their body and face is, and then hear the tone. Bro, he meant it when he said, the reporter asked him what made him come back. He paused for like 2-3 seconds, took like a deep like breath, and he was like, I honestly just followed my heart and came back to the Giants. And that matches up completely with what we've heard from Saquon since he's been drafted. He wants to be a Giant for life. I want us to find a way to extend this man. Obviously, I understand if we can't down
We
the
have a
line.
lot more cap next year. That's
Exactly.
so.
But I'm so glad that Joe Shane, being the great GM that he is, he found a way where Saquon was at least satisfied for this year to bring him back.
And here's the thing: the only person we have to lock up now is Xavier McKinney next year. That's the only person. That's the only person left. Who else? And then we got Saquon. I mean, so I think we can do it. I think we can do it. So we'll see what happens. So with that being said, I want to move on to our.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on,
Go ahead,
we actually didn't even finish the O-line thing because I went into Andrew Thomas' contract and I got Saquon.
Okay.
So Andrew Thomas has been cooking it. Love to see that. There's a little bit of competition at left guard. We got Azudu, and Bredesen. There's a little bit of comp at center, but I think they're just making JMS earn his spot. To be honest with you, he's
because
going to
Bredesen
be
has
the
been
starting
going
center.
to left guard and center first team, but
And speaking of which, we kind of realized towards the end of last year that Ben Bredesen he's like actually earning his keep. Towards the end of last year.
He's doing all right.
So, but yeah, JMS, I no doubt he's going to earn the starting center spot by the time the season rolls around. Right guard, Mark Lewinsky, which still is a disappointing signing for me. I hope he could do something. That's honestly the only spot I'm concerned about. I know people saw that Evan Neal versus Kayvon Thibodeau one-on-one rep, and they were worried. But I'm going to be so real with you guys. I really think that's more Kayvon being a beast in his second year
because
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal packed up Aziz.
Yeah.
So
and not only that, Kayvon, I think we all just sort of knew that if there was anybody to take the bigger jump in year 2, it would have been Kayvon because he showed way more flashes in year 1. Like he just, not to put it in video game terms, but to make it easier for anybody to understand, it's like Kayvon has that superstar development and Evan Neal has that star development, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Bro, Kayvon's going to be on a tear this season. And
I really do think he is.
You mentioned JMS. JMS, he struggled in padded practice, but dude, he's a center working with the ones in his first training camp ever. He is going to look like a kid versus these guys.
And JMS,
Lawrence,
like both me and KB said, was, in my opinion, the best center in the draft. Who was the other guy? Joe Tippmann or something?
Joe Tippmann. And
not to hate, but he hasn't looked nearly as good from what I've seen and what I've heard.
I haven't even heard about him yet. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But to Kayvon's point, Kayvon, I think, especially coming back healthy, because we all know that Randy Moss.
Why aren't you knocking on wood, bro?
Bro, but I'm just saying, I'm just talking about right now he's healthy, but if it wasn't for Randy Moss's son, maybe Kayvon could have had a lot better of a season last season. But but yeah, Kayvon I think is really gonna take that step up this season because I mean he was a top 5 pick for a reason. Like he to me was the best, not the best pass rusher. I thought Aiden was a bit better, but
yeah, I would agree. Year 1, Aiden Hutchinson was definitely better.
Yeah, no, I'm talking even as a prospect. Like even as a prospect, I thought Aiden was better. But I mean, Kayvon he's got the tools. He's got it. Yeah. So it's not like he's feeling feral or anything.
I'm sure you've seen this. You know what gave me? I already had confidence in him, but just to pile on top of that, I think the biggest reason he's gonna have a better year. We saw so many times last year. This man was like drenched in sweat by halftime, and he was like gassed. You could tell he was gassed. You could tell that even though he's still doing a good job, he clearly didn't have the correct conditioning at pro level.
He's been working on that.
He specifically said that's one of the main things he's been working on in the offseason. He admitted to his own mistake, which is something you love, accountability. He was like, I made the mistake of thinking that I could handle that type of stamina and that type of pace at the pro level, but I couldn't. So I've taken steps this offseason with his trainer to incorporate more sprinting and more stamina training, more endurance training. And so that alone, just him being less gassed on the field, is going to be a huge plus.
Eric says, do you guys think Dexter Lawrence could be a 10-sack season? Here's the thing. There is a pro and con to that. If Dexter Lawrence is getting 10 sacks, what are the rest of the edges doing? You know, they should be. Dexter Lawrence shouldn't even have to be sacking the quarterback. I mean, it's crazy enough that he's able to pass rush the way he is, because coming out of the draft, he was a pure nose tackle. So it's amazing to see what he's done so far, and it's great what he's doing. But I really want those edges to go off. Dexter Lawrence can be that pressure machine he all he wants, and I'm okay with him sacking the quarterback, of course, but if he's getting 10 sacks, that means, well, what is the rest of the defense?
You know what the best answer to this question is? Can he be a 10 sack player? Absolutely.
Yeah, he can.
Will he be one? I don't think so, because I don't think he's going to be needed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
He needed to be that last year. We didn't have any sort of pass rush. This year should be different. CJ says, what's going on with King Micah? King Micah. Let me tell you something about King Micah real quick. Okay. I don't know what this coach
Darian Beavers.
He hasn't been doing nothing in training camp, and he's been starting over Micah McFadden. Why?
Bobby Okereke.
Listen, first of all, if there's one thing I don't like about Wink Martindale and Brian Dable, is why are you doing that to King Micah? King Micah, every time he touches the field, every time he graces the field with his presence, he makes a play. I always see it in the practice notes when
you're
Micah
glazing, bro. You're glazing right now.
When Micah McFadden is on the first team, he always makes. I haven't heard a lick of Darian Beavers yet. I haven't heard anything of him yet. Okay, and he looked like he put on some weight. It looks like he put on some weight.
Some players just aren't practice players, bro. Have we heard anything about Isaiah Hodgins? No. Does that mean we lose confidence in him? No.
Listen.
Which, by the way, I did want to bring up. We ain't hearing anything about Isaiah Hodgins in training camp, bro.
Yuvraj, you bastard.
Darian Beasters.
Oh, man.
Darian Beasters. By the way, go back up real quick. One comment I did want to highlight from Yuvraj was he was completely correct on this. Saquon, the one above that, his last one. Saquon's agent did not do him any good, bro.
Terrible. Terrible.
She should have. I think there was clearly signs that the running back market was going to go downhill for years now. Yeah, but that's that. I just want to say that she did not do him any favors in that department.
Let's go to some of these topics here to try to get a little organized here. First topic of our training camp recap, pretty much. Danny Dimes, TD Jones. I mean, he's out here, man. I don't have all his stats. Oh
yeah, I know you said you're gonna try and pull up what he did, right?
I'm gonna try to pull up all his stats, but I've got so much notes in here, and I don't think I wrote down it because I would take it from tweets and stuff like that. But there was one practice where he went 11 of 12, and this is just 11 on 11s, 11 of 12, 11 of 16, 6 of 11 was last practice because it was a padded practice. But his completion percentage in 11 on 11s is spectacular. And if you guys see, if I could have had time to cut up a little highlight film of him from all these practices, I would have done so. But he has been throwing absolute dimes in practice. I mean, he has been looking damn near perfect. And that's not a word I throw around out there, especially for a quarterback. Like, everybody knows, like, I was very critical of Eli in training camp. I was like, bro, what the hell? What is this? But Eli's just Eli. But Daniel Jones has been throwing dimes out there. He's been so accurate, bro. It's like literally all of his throws were literally only in a place where the wide receiver can get it. If you look at all of those back shoulders by Paris Campbell doesn't even receive back shoulders. That's not even the type of player he is. Like, he's not a George Pickens sort of build, you know, and he's out here getting back shoulder passes. Darius Slayton, he's hitting him. He's got a good chemistry now with Darren Waller. I mean, I think my grandma would have a good chemistry with Darren Waller. He's always open. So he has been on the money, throwing touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, getting a good chemistry with Jalen Hyatt. And we all know Jalen Hyatt's speed. They've been working together after practice to kind of gain a little bit of that chemistry. Daniel Jones has been looking like he is worth the contract so far. I'm not willing to say, I'm not going to go out here and say that he's worth the contract yet. I mean, we paid him for a reason, but he is doing the work right now. He's putting in the work right now. So, and on top of that, quick little note, speaking of putting in the work right now, Darius Slayton, I haven't put him in a topic, but Darius Slayton has been in the lab this offseason. Somebody posted his coach, actually his like offseason coach put in a little like workout tape of him. He worked on his hands. He totally adjusts the way he catches the football, which is, I mean, at this point in your career, I don't know how the hell, but he did so.
All I'm gonna say is we will see. We shall see.
All I know is that he did so, and he's been looking good in training camp. He has had a couple of drops in training camp, but that happened early on. To be fair, it happened early on, and now that we're 6 days in, he's been looking pretty decent. Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, Isaiah Hodgins has some possession catches. I mean, it's been looking really good. Even Daniel Bellinger out there in his second season looking good. I mean, Daniel Jones. I mean, what are your takes right now about Daniel Jones? What do you project, and like, how do you feel about him at this point?
So first off, shout out to the Big Blue in the Bronx, bro. My boy Alex over there.
Yeah, what up,
and
man?
the unfortunate Jet twin. When I went to training camp last year, I went with Alex. I think it was twice. Great experience. Love the guys over there, and yeah, they're at camp again. With Daniel Jones, you said it. The title says it. He's been diming. We've seen last year just the immense improvement you have when you have a coach that knows how to play football and knows how to call plays, can do that, has a little bit of confidence in you. And forget just being in the same system twice so you don't have to learn it all over again, which he said, because the reporters obviously would ask him that question. He confirmed it. He's like, yeah, it's great because I don't have to learn anything from baby steps anymore. I'm way more familiar with it. I know the ins and out of it already. But also getting that contract extension, which once again, praising Joe Shane, because now he's the 13th highest paid quarterback in the league, which is amazing. You guys know how this works. When a player is up for contract, if they don't, even if they don't deserve it, they become the highest paid.
You know what's crazy?
Thank God that didn't happen with Danny.
You know what's crazy? A lot of people, like when you rank Daniel Jones, a lot of people rank him right outside that top 10.
Exactly.
It's almost like he's paid exactly what
he's getting paid exactly what he is. Because
the
even
market is high. The market is high,
yeah.
but he's getting paid where he's at.
And I would say, I wouldn't say Danny is a top 10, let alone top 5 QB, but I would 100% say that he's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. And he's getting paid like a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. And Blue, bro,
yes,
Gio,
yes, sir, Alex.
The confidence that you can see from him and the swagger that you see from him when he plays, I'm telling you, it comes because for the first time in his career, and I mean the very first time in his career, he knows that the coaching staff and the front office got his back. He's guaranteed another 3-4 years. He knows this, bro.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from him. The confidence, everybody's been saying it. Our boy State Arpleton out there, putting in the work. He's a Daniel Jones guy, and he said this is the best he's seen. I think Jordan Renan, who's been critical of Daniel Jones before,
Alex is saying it right now, and he's seen it firsthand as well. Like this is the best anybody's seen him.
And it's all right. It looks like, because from years, I mean, especially from the outside looking in, if you're not a Giants fan, you would look at Daniel Jones and you're like, damn, he's like a Jake Locker. Like he's like a Teddy Bridgewater. He's like these fringe starting quarterbacks that are only starting because they don't have anything better. That's how a lot of teams and fans viewed Daniel Jones. But he's really coming into his own. He really has been earning the respect that he has been demanding, pretty much, because he's a starting quarterback for the New York Giants. And everybody laughed at this team, including myself. I'll be honest, I laughed at this team for drafting him 6th overall. But if he takes this season and just dominates with it, forget about that that season where he had 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Like, forget about those seasons. Like, he's here.
Forget about the conversation we just had right now. In fact, I would say forget about it right now. Who cares where he ranks? He did the one thing we asked of him last year, Gio. Can you get us to the playoffs?
Yeah.
He did more. Can you win us a
over the ball?
Game?
And he's
performed amazing in the playoff game, performed amazing in that last 4-game stretch leading up to it. And now he's back on a very team-friendly deal. He's looking the best he's ever looked. He's making dimes as well as bombs of throws. He's airing it out, bro. We said it in the last section where this offense might be legit. He's airing that thing out. And he's damming it up. Like that catch Hyatt made on the sideline, that was perfectly placed so it wouldn't be out of bounds. Like, everything has been looking nice.
Yeah, it even Bobby Skinner, and I love Bobby's takes, man. This guy knows ball, man. So I mean, he was evaluating Daniel Jones, and he's like, "Listen, this guy has been taking shots that I've never seen him take before. He's been airing the ball out in a way I haven't seen him before. You've seen it even in OTAs. Forget about training camp. Even in OTAs, they were saying that Brian Dable has literally been calling deep plays the whole practice, and I mean, they haven't stopped doing that because that's really what they want to work on. It's very apparent, and we all knew that's what the Giants needed to work on in the offseason, and it's great to see that they're actually implementing that now, and we are thinking, I mean, the Giants are thinking the way we're thinking. We need to air the ball out. And Daniel Jones has been making throws that he hasn't been confident in making. There's this Bobby was talking about last practice how he was hitting a lot of hole shots, which is that gap between in cover two, that gap between the safety and the corner on the sideline, like that Jalen Hyatt throw. He's been hitting a lot of those, and something that he hasn't been doing on film consistently in years. And I just love that he's able to do that now. He has the confidence to do it. They're intentionally calling those plays to get him the confidence to do it. I mean, like they are putting all of their like hopes and confidence in Daniel Jones this season. Like they don't have any barriers on him, any chains on him. They're letting him loose. They're letting him be the franchise quarterback that he is paid to be. So Bobby Murphy in here. What's going on, Bobby? We know you're coming with the Eagles smoke. Oh man, what's going on, man? B Dog, what's going on? Danny Dimes for MVP. Man, I would love if he was an MVP candidate. Luann says Danny Dimes 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns. Man, I'll tell you right now, if we are a team that wants to air the ball out and Darren Waller is out there, Jalen Hyatt is out there to get a lot of yards per reception, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Maybe I would say closer to 4,000 yards, but man, 4,500 yards would be the dream. Of
Well,
course.
I think he's definitely going to have 4,500 all purpose. And shout out to Abrar. I seen Abrar in the chat and B Dog as well. And to add on to your DJ spiel that you just went on, KB, I will also definitely say, in terms of the weapons, like you said, we're airing it out. They did the right job and added who they added. And you can't give enough credit to Joe Shane. Like Paris Campbell is such an underrated addition to this offense. Another speedster deep threat. We have 3 legit speed threats, bro. Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, and Jalen Hyatt, who's been looking better and better with each practice. They've done it in such a great way. Let's not forget what Darren Waller could do when he's healthy. 2020 Darren Waller, bro, during the COVID season, was one of the best receiving tight ends I've ever seen in my life. I keep remembering that Raiders game where I think they were playing the Chargers. Deep past some car late in the fourth quarter to Waller. This man slid down, caught it. I was like, I don't know how that just
He
happened, but
came
it
out of
just happened.
nowhere too, man. Dude was a receiver for Baltimore, came to the Raiders, and he was like automatic. His first season was like the best tight end in football. Like, it was like insane.
Mhm.
Well, one of the best tight ends in football. Like he just came in out of nowhere. It just sucks that he's like at a point in his career where he's kind of like at his peak right now, because he's already like 30, I believe, or something like that. So, or like even
Or 29, yeah,
29 or something like that. So, but we'll enjoy him as long as we have him there. But Darren Waller, man, we got to talk about him. Um, he has been unstoppable. I mean, this guy has. I don't think we've ever seen a receiving threat like this. Well, definitely we haven't seen a receiving threat like this since Odell Beckham. I mean, especially what we're seeing from, like, they don't know how to stop him, bro. They just do not know how to stop him. Like I said, the only time I've seen Darren Waller actually be defended was Xavier McKinney, and who else than Xavier McKinney, who's been covering tight ends and running backs all season last season. His job is definitely Darren Waller in training camp, and he was able to force an incomplete pass, a pass defended on Darren Waller, and that was literally the only time we see Darren Waller be stopped. But I mean, he has been open. His route running is impeccable. Like if you watch this guy run routes, I mean, he's a receiver. I mean, every single day when he starts working with the tight ends and he makes an insane throw, like they put him with the receivers and defensive backs. Like they don't even put him with the tight ends and linebackers anymore. They put him with receivers, or like he's working with the receivers right now. Like that's insane to me. That's insane, and it's like the cherry on top is Daniel Bellinger. You know, the cherry on top is Daniel Bellinger and what he's done in his rookie season, and the fact that he is not going to be the main feature tight end anymore. He's going to be a compliment is like great to me. It really reminds me of like a Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert thing back in a couple of years ago with the Eagles. And man, that's just
Remember the comparison I made that a lot of people find controversial?
which one?
Baby Gronk for
Baby
Bellinger, modern Hernandez
Modern
for
Hernandez.
Waller.
I like that name.
I'm just saying. I'm
Oh,
just saying.
hey man, maybe we could see that, man. Maybe we could see that. I mean, a lot of people like Daniel Bellinger too. Even a lot of guys in the league like Daniel Bellinger. So that's just we are definitely set there. We are definitely set there in a position. You know, you're going back years prior with Larry Donnell and Will Tye and Matt Lacoste, and oh my gosh, it's just it's a huge turn of events. But let's see what else we could talk about here. Okay, so um, before we move on to the defense, we'll move on to the defense soon. We got to talk about Jalen Hyatt and his progress. Hyatt has, I will be the first to say, out of all the Jalen Hyatt, I wouldn't say I'm a Jalen Hyatt hater. I always liked Jalen Hyatt. I just didn't think
I wanted him.
he
I just
wasn't
want to put that back
he
out
was
there.
he
I
wasn't
wanted that
my
man all draft process long.
he wasn't my cup of tea. Let's just say that. But he has definitely. I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm not gonna be like, oh, we'll see what happens, dude. He's proven it. He's running routes. Like he's
I've seen
running
so many
routes.
people come around on the Jalen Hyatt train as well. Not just you on
Yeah.
Twitter. Like you guys know, why am I forgetting his name? But there's this Twitter account that I interact with a bunch that was not a fan of Jalen Hyatt, and like he just kept seeing the highlights being posted, and on the most recent one, he's like, okay, I'm actually I might like this guy now. And I'll be honest, KB, it's not like I saw this either. I really like Jalen Hyatt just because I was like, I love the production and I love the speed. But we're seeing more than production and speed. We're seeing legit competition with our ones,
Mhm.
and we're seeing legit, really good catches, like the catch on the
He
sideline,
has great hands. He has
consistently,
great hands. Yeah.
consistently making those catches and consistently getting out his break, consistently leaving people in the dust. I can't wait I want us to start him so bad against Dallas. I know we actually have our 3 starting wide receivers.
Yeah.
It's set right now is Paris
Slayton,
Campbell,
Hodgins, yeah.
Slayton, and Hodgins.
However order they want to put that in, those are those.
Please get Hyatt in there somehow for week 1 because he
You know
got
what's
something to say to that
insane?
Cowboys coach, man.
You know what's insane to me? Like, and that's kind of what how I wanted to wrap up the offense is like, how do you feel about the wide receivers in general? Before we get to that, I want to talk quickly about Jalen Hyatt specifically. Though he's been running route. I mean, he's not like a route he's a route god like David Sills is. You know, we're not gonna go that far. But
Mhm.
he's been looking
Which
really
once
good.
again, David Sills is once again at camp. How many years has it been, bro? Straight.
I had. I'm gonna talk about David Sills in a second, bro. Oh my god, yeah, I think it's like his 5th year with us, something like that. But I'm gonna talk about David Sills at the end here. But Hyatt, man, like he's running those. A big problem I had with Hyatt was the in-breaking routes. Okay, it wasn't the curls and the comebacks because a lot of people really don't know this. Like he ran curls and comebacks in Tennessee more than he did go routes. Like that was like what he was doing mostly. But obviously the big highlight plays were the go routes. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, look at Jalen Hyatt's running routes and he's running a curl." Like he does that. He does that. But what I wanted to see was the digs, the posts, the the drive routes and things like that, things that go in, in breaking routes. He's been doing that, and he's been doing that very well. He's been beating legit competition, and I don't have any problem with him and his route running moving forward. I think he's worked on that. I think he's already proved what he can do, and so Jalen Hyatt is just he's working on it. He's great, but quickly about David Sills, Trey Hawkins, who we'll get to later on, who I'm really excited about, our 6th-round pick rookie. He packed up David Sills, and it's hilarious because David Sills thinks he's like the route god, and so he hit
Bro,
he hit the
let's keep it
hardest.
real.
If I can
He
pull up
clearly is if it's his 5th straight year at training
bro,
camp with us, bro.
okay, so he was running a dig route, and he ran a dig route, and the snap was made, and he hit a split release, and he did a hard step outside, like he stomped his feet outside. It was so unnecessary, but he stomped his feet outside, and it really like slowed him down from like exploding off the line of scrimmage. He stomped his foot outside, and he cut back inside, and Hawkins was like staring at him. Like he had time to just stare at him. And so he's trailing his route, and Hawkins already knew he was going inside, and he cut before David Sills did. And Sills like hit like a fake outside to inside. And when he went inside, Hawkins was already there. I was dying. I was like, yo, you're doing all this fancy stuff, and Hawkins is just like a 6th-round pick is packing you up. Oh my God, it was
And we'll
hilarious.
get to Hawkins.
Yeah.
We'll get to Hawkins. Big One Bronze asked thoughts on the left guard battle. I guess we never got into it. I just brought it up. Like we do have the left guard battle with
Bredesen has it.
Izudu and Bredesen. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be it. Yeah, you guys know I was a big Josh Izudu truther last year when we got him in the draft.
I just think it's a best five situation. Yeah, it's a best five situation.
Honestly, I think our best starting five is Thomas, Bredesen, JMS, Glow, and Evan Neal.
Yeah,
I really do think that's our best starting five situation.
The right side is shaky to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, the right side is definitely a little shaky to me. Like I said, I'm more concerned about Glow than I am Evan. I think Evan is gonna be fine this year. I think he's gonna be maybe below average to average in terms of lineman play, that's exactly what we need when you got 3 out of your 5 spots really, really good and great. It's Glow. Glow is really the one that's really.
Yeah, he was getting
that's just me
last season, so we'll see what happens.
Shout out to Steve, man. I miss you too, bro.
Yeah, what's going on, Steve? So yeah, to wrap up the wide receiving core, how do you feel about this core? Because that was one of the biggest question marks going into training camp.
Incredible. I got a chance to watch Ian Rappaport's interview on the Giants channel today. They had him on Big Blue Kickoff Live. Okay. And he summed it up exactly the way I would. Last year, the wide receiving core was a big weakness, a little bit of a bore, and they somehow made it work. Like they did somehow make it work, but it was a bunch of guys that were performing at their highest levels, and we needed them to perform at their highest levels for us to get any type of production out of them. This year, we still don't have a quote unquote true number one specifically in the WR core, but we have a bunch of really good guys. Mm-hmm. And like you said, we could have a myriad of combinations to be that quote unquote starting 3. Paris Campbell, Gary Slay, and Isaiah Hodgins is a combination.
And we still have Sterling Shepard back there and Wandale. Yeah.
I was going to say, Wandale was what I was going to bring up. We still have our 3rd-round pick from last year who, knock on wood, went out during his best game.
Second rounder.
We still haven't seen the best of Wandale. He went out during his best game. He had a 100-yard game, and then the injury happened. So we still haven't seen the best of him. We got Jalen Hyatt, who's quickly rising the ranks. Sterling Shepard. Behind those guys, there's is that it? There's 2. Isn't there like 2 more guys?
There are a couple other
Jamison Crowder. That's who it is. Jamison Crowder and Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley specifically has been doing very well.
Bro, Cole Beasley specifically is not somebody to just just write off. This man, for some reason, wherever he goes, gets production and gets open.
Yeah, he is annoying as hell, and I'm happy he's on our team because especially when he was with the Cowboys, I couldn't stand that little guy, bro. I couldn't stand him, bro. He was every time it was 3rd down. Cole Beasley short, and he gains like 11 yards for the 1st down. Oh man, I couldn't stand
bro. So it's like I feel the wide receiving core has went from being our weakest position to people won't think this off bat, but it's now one of our strongest positions because it's like you got a whole bunch of 85 and 80 overalls. You don't got that 90 plus overall, but you got a whole bunch of 85s and 80s. That's a strong, consistent position.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the fact that you're able to rotate these guys, and I know you are not going to see the same 3 on the field all the time. You were going to see, I guess in like basketball terms, you would see the starting 3, and then your bench with Sterling, Wandale, and Jalen, and then maybe even I don't know. I think they only keep like 6, but yeah, you're going to see a lot of mixed rotations in there. So,
Bobby, listen, my boy, listen. You talking real high, bro. You seem to forget. And the first 8 games last year, we were 7-1, baby. You don't know what could happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying you don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I don't know if I talked about it with you specifically, KB. I think I might have talked about it with Diggy in like Twitter DMs. Where I was like, the toughest part of our schedule is just like last year, where it's like in the first half. I know we have the Eagles 2 out of the last 3 games, but the actual toughest stretch of our schedule is like the first 6 or 7 games, and that's exactly how it was last year, bro. The toughest part.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the defense now. As far as defense goes, there hasn't been a lot to talk about. It's besides defensive backs, so we'll get into them. But I mean, just to quickly wrap up, like defensive line linebackers, they've been doing well. I mean, we haven't seen anything, I guess, to really note because obviously we only had one padded practice yesterday, and I mean that's pretty much it. Bobby Okereke looks like he's all over the field, so that's good. And
Oh
then
yeah, I was gonna say actually, since I haven't had a chance to look at it, I'm sure as much as you had, can you give me a little bit of an update on how Okereke has looked?
yeah, he's I mean, he's been doing as much as what a linebacker can do when there's no pads. You know,
I
it's
would
really
guess,
hard.
especially in the wing system too, where we know last year McKinney had the green dot,
Yeah.
and we saw the green dot on his helmet again. So I don't know if that means
I think
Okereke
they
is
both
not gonna
have it
have it.
on. I think they're both
Okay.
competing for it, so we'll see what happens. But you can't really see who has the dot on because he has McKinney has the dot, but he doesn't have the padding on. Okereke has the padding on the helmet, so you're not able to see if he has the dot on or not. So but Okereke's been, it looks like everybody is saying that he is all over the field. Like he moves sideline to sideline very quickly. He's looking very active. But like I said, there's only so much you can really get out of a linebacker in the first couple of days of training camp with no pads on, because obviously their biggest job is like stopping the run game and plugging gaps and stuff like that. So he's been looking good. He's been looking good. And the battle between Micah McFadden and Darian Beavers has been looking pretty decent. I mean, I don't know what it is, bro. I really think that Micah McFadden is looking better, but that's just me. I don't know why they keep starting Darian Beavers. He doesn't do jack squat when he's starting, but is
Let
what
me
it is.
ask you something, KB.
Go ahead.
Do you trust the New York Giants coaching staff?
They make mistakes, bro, and
Name me
nobody's
one.
perfect.
Name me one. Name me. We've
Hannah
had one year with them.
Montana said nobody's perfect, bro, and I believe
All
her.
right, but I'm asking you. In the past year we had, name me one mistake they made.
Putting a Dory Jackson there on punt return.
That's not a mistake, bro.
That's not a mistake.
Bro, special teams don't count, bro. Like, stop it.
So teams
Who's
don't
talking about?
count.
What are we really talking
Oh
about, bro?
man, how
I'm
about
not
how
gonna
about
lie.
starting? How about
I'm gonna be
starting
honest with you. I completely forgot that happened. Wasn't that during the Lions game as well, or am I tripping?
I don't remember that game. I don't remember which game it was. It could. I think it was. Maybe
Because
it was
it was
the Lions
close to the playoffs, and I remember I was stressing. I was like, we're
game.
missing
Somebody
a
in the
door to
comments will
close to the
say
playoffs.
the comments always have a better memory than we do. So somebody in the comments will say, when did Adoree get hurt? Can
Oh
Kid Blue
man.
just rename himself to Micah Stanton? He's his yeah. No, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Think of something better, man. But having Justin Ellis even sniff the field. Oh my
All
god,
right.
he
To
was
be
terrible.
fair, like
He was
our D line depth
terrible.
last year, though, bro. Like we had to work with what we had. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We had to work with what we had.
he was terrible.
Um, to Trey Hawkins, is that the next one?
No, what I wanted to get to first, Trey Hawkins will be the last. What I wanted to get to first is our first round pick, Deontay Banks. Now, here's the thing. All
Yeah,
right.
this is a
I,
tough one for me.
this headline is just there because it's just there. It is what it is. But we shouldn't be over exaggerating yet. Not yet. There are very rare situations where it's like, okay, there was one situation last season, Khair Elam of the Buffalo Bills. He's a first round pick, and then they drafted us. They just like our situation, a 6th round pick in the same draft last year, and that 6th round pick wound up starting over the first round pick. Here's the thing: as far as prospects go, I didn't even like Khair Elam that much like as a prospect last year. I love Deontay Banks. He
I
has
was
what
gonna
it
say
takes.
because you've compared him to I think your favorite cornerback prospect ever, Marlon Humphrey, right?
Yeah. I've compared his style of play to him a bit, but Marlon Humphrey is just a different creature. Like this guy was huge. But Banks has what it takes. He he's looked really good as a prospect. I don't have any problem with him right now. Is that listen, he's going against speedsters, bro. He's going against Darius Slayton, who has great chemistry with Daniel Jones. Like they have that chemistry. I think if Daniel Jones wasn't the quarterback, Darius Slayton wouldn't be as good as he is. They just have great
Mhm.
chemistry. Paris Campbell is a experienced veteran, and I don't know if he's gone against Isaiah Hodge. I haven't seen that.
Veteran, didn't he come in the league the same year as Darius?
They're both veterans. I mean, veterans.
I guess I guess I just find it weird at this point to like call Darius Slayton. a veteran.
Oh, it's 2019. 2019 is
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, he's been going against. Listen, Deontay Banks has been with the first team since the second day of OTAs. Okay, he's been getting torched by the first team for a while. Trey Hawkins comes in and he started with the third team. He worked his way with the second team and he's looked really good. But to be completely fair to Deontay Banks, Trey Hawkins has not been consistently going against
The first team.
insane, yeah, the first team, insane talent every single day. You can imagine how demoralizing it is being torched by those guys every single day. And a lot of people are getting at Deontay Banks because like he was getting beat by how bad he got beat by Darren Waller. It's Darren freaking Waller, bro. This
Yeah.
guy, this guy is like the size of LeBron James playing receiver. Like that's ridiculous. Okay, so um, we shouldn't worry about Banks
Darren
too
Waller
much.
is what LeBron would have been if he actually stuck to tight end. I'm just gonna say that.
Hey man, maybe, but Deontay Banks and he's picking it up too. He's had this last practice and padded practice. He didn't look like nobody really said he was getting beat, but he had like 2 or 3 pass breakups. So he's getting there. He's getting there. He's a bit off to a slow start, but
And
he's
I'll
getting
say
there.
this. I really I say it all the time, and of course what I say has no actually
Baptism by fire, forged by fire. Yep.
has no impact on how fans act. And I know that I'm like basically 0 for 2 now on defending our rookie players. Like I was 0 for 1 with our last first round cornerback pick. With the whole situation that went down with him. And then I went 0 for 2 with our rookie wide receiver in Kadarius Toney.
You also
I'm
was 0 for Darnay Holmes, but
But we gonna get to that. I was on specifically first round picks. We gonna
okay.
get to that. But but it doesn't change the fact that like you guys need to chill on these players, bro.
Yeah.
Like these are still human beings, and not only that, they're rookies. They're like the youngest of any NFL player you're gonna see. Very young mind. They're not built up to the criticism yet, and honestly, you shouldn't be criticizing them that hard because they're rookies. They haven't seen the NFL play yet, and I only say that because like I really don't want another situation where like a player's mind really breaks them. Um, on the Giants team. We had that before, but when they struggle, this is going to be an extreme example. But Eric Flowers, we saw his resurgence when he moved to guard, and a lot of his downfall was definitely self-inflicted, right? But nobody was doing him any favors by beating down on him all the time. My point is, as I got a clown next to me right now. My point is Deontay Banks struggling? There's no need to overreact yet. If we get in during the season and he's like actually getting burnt, maybe it's warrant to say something. But cornerback, rookie specifically, cornerback is literally the most difficult position to transition from college to the pros.
It's constant chaos. It's constant
Sauce
chaos.
Gardner has caused so many consequences for how fans look
I know.
at rookie
And
cornerbacks.
Pat Surtain.
The
Pat
reason,
Surtain too.
the reason these guys, and specifically Sauce, because I guess he was in the New York area, so he got way more coverage. But he's also, I think, he's better than Pat Surtain.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
the reason Sauce gets so much attention is because of how much of just a freakazoid that is, how much of an outlier that is compared to rookie cornerbacks. You can't look at Deontay Banks and say I'm going to expect Sauce Gardner out of him. He's going to be growing pains. There's no harder position to translate than cornerback when it comes to college to the NFL. I still got faith in him. I'm going to give him literally the entire year. I'm sorry if that's troublesome for some fans to say I'm going to give a rookie his entire rookie year.
Yeah. Listen, Banks, everybody has, where they started from. Not everybody gets off to a strong foot. You have to be able to give a rookie time. And it doesn't matter what position they play, really. You have to be able to give them time. They will come into their own. Especially we look at a lot of different players that even the Giants have drafted in the past. Okay. So not everybody's gonna be like an Odell Beckham coming out in his rookie year, So we have to wait and see with Deontay Banks and let him adjust. And listen, more like getting demoralized is a real thing, man. Constantly getting torched time and time again, it kind of gets tiresome. So there could have been a point where he kind of was just down in the dumps. But it seems like he's getting his confidence back because like he had like like I said, he had like 2 or 3 pass breakups yesterday, and he looked very confident. I mean, he looked like he was back in it. I guess, when you have a culture like that and you got guys that just lifting you up all the time, it's very easy to bounce back. So we'll see what happens there. Like I said though, Trey Hawkins looks great, and he is like very, very gifted physically more than Deontay Banks is. Banks just had a better play in college, but Trey Hawkins has the measurables and the speed and stuff like that. So he's gonna have a little bit of an advantage, a physical advantage when it comes to practice and stuff like that. So we'll see how it translates on a football field. But yeah, let's just see what happens with Deontay Banks.
You gotta give him time.
Nobody should be worrying about Deontay Banks. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
I think definitely gotta give him time. Let me see what the
and
that
listen,
is saying.
but hold on, but
Yeah.
listen, they also have been picking on Deontay Banks on purpose. Like, remember
Yeah,
what happened?
I was gonna bring, bro. Didn't they have like our
did the same-
best receivers constantly go up against him? The fact that, like you said earlier, Darren Waller going up against him should not be happy, and Darren Waller should be going up against the safety.
You know what
Like-
happened the first play of training camp, first play of 11-on-11s, deep pass to Darius Slayton on Deontay Banks. Like that set the tone for the entire training camp. They were gonna target Deontay Banks and like kind of throw the rookie's feet to the fire and say, "Hey, fight back, fight back." So, I don't want to baby our defensive backs, especially like DeAndre Baker. If you guys remember him, like he was not good, but they just threw him as a starter. He was pegged as a starter because he was a first round pick. He was freaking sleeping in team meetings and all that stuff. Like, there's so much more with this coaching staff, so much more expectations with this coaching staff as far as like these players go, and they want to test you out, man. They're gonna see what you have. So, Deontay Banks is gonna be down in the dumps, but it's only up from there. So, you have something to say?
I was gonna say, you brought up what it was with Baker, and I think I might have alluded to it earlier, but don't add on more to it because it's really just unnecessary. And when the guy makes plays, you can see he has the confidence boost.
Yeah.
Give him time. Just give him time. And this coaching staff is smart enough, I think you guys realize, to not have a repeat of the Baker situation, where it's what KB said. They're just going to throw him out there for the sake of throwing him out there because we traded up for him and spent a first-round pick on him. No, we didn't trade up for him. We traded up for Hyatt, sorry, because we spent a first-round pick for him. They know better. No, that's what I said. I don't think we traded up for him. I mixed that up with Hyatt. We traded up for Hyatt. So just keep that in mind. And Adoree is still there either way. Listen, in the best case scenario, where somehow, some way, 2 rookies are starting and Adoree is in the slot, which I'm sure we're going to talk about next. That can't happen. But also, realistically speaking, it's probably going to be not that. And we'll see how Banks goes. Trial by fire, like somebody says. That's just how it goes for some rookie cornerbacks.
Yeah. JP, what's going on? So yeah, let's go to
also keep in mind. I'm sorry, I just had to add this in. Keep in mind, even though we're about to talk about how great Trey Hawkins has been, keep in mind that we haven't had real pressure yet to help out the CBs as well.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens there. But all right, so Trey Hawkins, the main attraction, like he has taken the Giants training camp by storm, and man, for good reason, man. Everybody loves an underdog story. I love an underdog story. That was Darius Slayton when he came out in the draft. I mean, it's very rare that the Giants really hit on late round picks. We've had a couple of guys that we thought could have been something. You go back to Corey Ballantyne, and we'll get into like the comparison between him and Ballantyne soon.
I think the stronger comparison is him and Rodarius. Remember a couple years ago when Rodarius was doing the same thing? And I'm not trying to hate, but yeah, no, Rodarius was like doing this a couple years ago. So we got to see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So we'll see what happens. But Trey Hawkins has been taking training camp by storm. He started off with the 3rd team, obviously, because he's a 6th round pick. Then he moved up to the 2nd team, and they're like, damn, like this guy has been absolutely locking up everybody. Let's see what he does with the 1st team. And so they even went as far as to put Adoree in the slot, because obviously Trey Hawkins, his build does not match the slot. So if they want to put him on the field, you got to take up one of the positions, and you're not going to move Deontay Banks. You have to see, training camp is for Deontay Banks, not for Adoree Jackson. So they put Adoree in the slot, which is very, very like, it almost seems very fitting because Adoree Jackson coming out of USC when all those years ago, I believe that was 2018,
17, right?
2017, 2018, one of
I
those.
think it's 17.
Yeah, one of
I could
those.
double check right now.
Yeah. I want to say 28. I want to say 2018 because I think Corey, whatever his
Yeah,
name is,
2017. 2017.
2017. Okay. Yeah, when he came out, he was projected to be a slot corner in the NFL, and not even a great, like, he was more so a punt returner. Like, he was like a what Jabril Peppers was, like a great punt returner who had decent skills on defense. And it's kind of cool to see Adoree Jackson shift into the slot for the first time in his NFL career because he was playing outside with Tennessee as well, and it almost felt like he was out of position. But hey, he's been playing very well for for what he was projected at 5'11" too. But
I
and
think
quickly
I
about the
yeah.
quickly
I was
about
gonna
the
say. Oh,
okay, go, yeah, you go,
I was gonna say. Just referencing what you brought up earlier with how he knew David Still's route better than him.
Mhm.
Trey Hawkins, he's clearly been studying his butt off. He's clearly been
Oh
looking
yeah,
at tape and
oh yeah.
film, and that's great. He's a very studious cornerback. If he can bring that to the regular season, that's gonna help him out more than your like natural ability to run, keep up with players and stuff like that. Like that's how you be great
Mhm.
if you don't have the necessary natural talent to make up for it. Also, yo, bro is handsome.
Hey man, he's a
Look at
handsome
that
fellow. Look
smile,
at that. Look
bro.
at that smile, man. Look like
Yo,
that could be the
bro,
face. That could be one of the
and we
faces
could
of the Giants. Him and Dex on the
exactly.
defense. Him and Dex on the deep. Bro, Dex has a nice smile too, bro. He's
Bro,
he's a
bro,
nice.
and then Kayvon with the drippy drip. Oh, don't get me
Yeah.
started, bro. Aziz got a great smile too, bro.
They all do.
Aziz got a great smile too.
They all some pretty
Um,
dudes out there,
but
man.
I was gonna say, no, just like a funny thing. Like we all know, like great cornerbacks, they always have a great name or nickname. Revis Island and stuff like that. Obviously, Sauce Gardner,
You said Hawk Island,
Banks.
right? You said Hawk Island.
No, like
Oh,
Deontay
somebody
Banks with
said
the Banks close. Bro,
yeah.
literally Trey Hawkins, ball hawk, bro. It's right there.
Ball Hawk.
Trey
Yeah. Yes,
Hawkins
sir.
is in the name.
Somebody has said Hawk Island before, but I think that was I don't know if that was you, but somebody said it on Twitter. But
Mhm.
whatchamacallit. Yeah, so I mean back to the trio there. We've also seen before going back to 2016 when the Giants drafted Eli Apple,
Oh,
they put veteran cornerback
isn't
DRC in
Eli
his
Apple on the Dolphins now? Yeah, we about
yeah,
to see
he just
them
got
week
signed.
6.
He
We
just
about
got
to see them
signed.
week 6.
He just got signed. Yeah,
Oh, I want
but
some. I want all 3 of our speedsters to burn that man up, man.
But we did see this before, like, so it shouldn't be a surprise. We did see it before when we draft a corner and we don't have enough space. They'll put the veteran inside. DRC shifted into the slot during 2016
And
to
he had a
put
great
replace
year too.
Eli
DRC in
Apple.
the slot was
Yeah,
amazing.
he had a great year. He just didn't want to play slot for the majority of his career because he felt like he was a boundary corner. They tried to put him in the slot in Philadelphia. He didn't like it. So, but he wound up. I think he had like 6 interceptions that year. So,
Yeah.
shout out to him. He had 6 interceptions in 2016
We had how many interceptions last year? Do you think that's going up? Because we were, I think, bottom of the league when it came to
Yeah, we were.
interceptions.
I think we
We
had 9.
were,
I think we had
we
9
were,
interceptions last
we
year.
were top 5 or top 3, something crazy in forced fumbles.
Yeah,
We were like
yeah,
bottom 3 in interceptions.
yeah. It was
Do you
bad,
think that
but
steps up?
oh hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I just think it's gonna be not because of just like the talent that we have with the defensive backs now. I think it's because of the our front seven now. Our front seven looks a lot better. They're a second year together, and I think they're gonna take a step up, and it's gonna force a lot of quarterbacks to make mistakes and make some errant throws.
The only thing like when you look at your team, you're like, man, I wish that these guys did something more. Just like you wish you have a wish about what the players would do.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't look like it. What I wish that Aziz and Kayvon were like really close friends. It don't look like they hang out that much. I want my 2 best pass rushers
You
to
wish
be
they were
like best friends,
buddies.
bro.
You wish they
I
were
wish they were
buddies.
buddies. Just the way they talk, and it's not in a negative way, like, but it's like really seems like Kayvon when he was asked about Aziz, he just talks to him in the most professional, politically correct way. And I'm like, do you
Hey.
not hang out with him at all, bro?
Shout out
Yo, shout out
Engraven
to
Viz in
Engraven.
the
What's up,
building.
man? How you doing?
How you enjoying Odell there, Engraven? I heard he's been balling over there, man. How you been, bro?
We don't
Man.
play the Ravens at all this year, do we?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, but I'm okay. I'm okay
We'll
with
meet you in the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Rematch in the
we're
2000
rematch.
Super Bowl, but a
Yeah,
different ending. A
yeah,
different
yeah.
ending.
We coming back for you.
Just put that out there.
Oh man, but yeah, as far as Hawkins goes, listen, man, he's been balling. We'll see what happens. He's a boundary corner. He's not a slot guy. So if they want to put him in, I really think here's my prediction. I really think that in times where, like, okay, we face the Rams at some point, where Cooper Cup, their best receiver, is a slot receiver. You may see a lot of Hawkins on the outside with Adoree in the slot. That's where I think Hawkins is going to get a lot of his playing time, is when those best receivers are in the slot, where Adoree can fit in the slot nicely, and then you can put Hawkins on the outside and not have to worry about a Cooper Cup, dominating on the outside. Because I don't think they'll do that. Maybe they'll try that because they have two rookies on the outside at some point, but they might just have Adoree follow around. But yeah.
Jonathan Studios has a good point. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's a great situation. Nobody should really be down in the dumps about Deontay Banks and how, I guess, he's struggling, and Trey Hawkins look like he's gonna take his job, bro. It's a great situation to have if you could somehow get two starting corners in the same draft. Like it's just a great situation, especially getting one in the 6th round from like Old Dominion. Like, that's insane to me.
Only the second ever player to be drafted out of Old Dominion, and the first ever one is still on the
Oh,
team.
Shane's
We have both players to ever be drafted out of Old Dominion.
Ever?
Yeah, wasn't O'Shane the first ever player to be drafted out of Old Dominion?
What the fuck? Really? Oh my
Yeah.
God. So yeah, Heineke was undrafted.
Bro,
Oh,
Old
snap.
Dominion got the pipeline to to
Yo,
what you call it, to us.
that team must be ass. Oh my God, bro. You got people from like Rutgers being drafted, and like I mean, do people get drafted from Yale and Harvard, those in Columbia and stuff? I don't think so. But
Wasn't
damn,
Andrew
bro.
Luck a Stanford?
Stanford, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
West Coast. But yeah.
I was gonna say Johnson Studios had a good point. I'm guessing he might have brought this up when we were talking about Deontay Banks. He's like, guess who Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, and AJ Brown are gonna look for on the field? The rookie deep Banks. Let's see that competition.
Hey man, for
I
fire, trial by fire.
I was gonna say, obviously, and like when it comes to that, Banks, he's gonna get cooked, bro. Like there's no denying it. He's a rookie. He's gonna get cooked. He's not Sauce Gardner. And once again, Sauce Gardner and his consequences of looking at rookie cornerbacks is gonna continue to annoy me. But we'll figure out ways to deal with it because we figured out ways to deal with it last year.
I really, really hope we do not treat Deontay Banks the same way that we treated Eli Apple when he struggled. Because let's be really fair. Let's, like, all jokes aside, let's be really fair here. 2016 Eli Apple wasn't great, but he wasn't bad.
No, he wasn't terrible.
He wasn't bad. Like, he was decent. He had decent plays, but we treated that guy like he was the worst corner ever lived. He wound up hating our franchise, and he was desperate to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do not want the same thing to happen to Deontay Banks. I don't want him to get quickly demoralized. We've seen how this media can really put a player down in dumps. Like we've seen that with Evan Ingram. Okay,
Not just the media, the fans as well.
Out of it. Yo, did you watch that Evan Ingram interview?
I didn't watch it, but I've seen enough comments to know that he's way happier in Jacksonville. And we said that, bro. We're like, I think it's gotten to a point where he just needs a change of scenery. And that's all he needed.
He admitted to it. He said, listen, I had nothing against Giants fans. I had nothing against the Giants. Like he said, I love it over there. That's like my second home. I feel like I love it. I love it over there. He wanted to be a Giant before he was even drafted. He really wanted to like be in the New York area. So he always said that, but he said like I couldn't get out of my head. I couldn't get out of my own head. He was overthinking everything. He run a route, overthink it, make a catch.
The drop, like before Darius Slayton was sure drops a lot. Bro, it was
imagine every time you touch the ball, you hear people booing you. The whole 82,000 people booing you. Like it's hard. It's hard. So I don't.
And it's like we're not taking away from the self-inflicted injuries that these examples that we're bringing up had, because they have their own problems that cause them to get to that point. But you're doing nobody any favors by piling on, saying, oh, this guy's trash. We shouldn't have drafted him, booing him every time. Like you said, we saw with Eli Apple. I don't want to see a repeat. We didn't really see it with DeAndre Baker because everything that happened with him happened in the offseason.
Yeah.
But you don't want to see that happen, man.
I don't want to see us just
let them get on the field. Let them learn.
Like it's clear that our culture is changing within the Giants locker room. Let's make sure the culture is changing outside the Giants locker room as well, like with the fan base. Let's make sure, because let's be real, we can be pretty damn toxic. we can be pretty. This fan base, as much as like I have pride in that NY because of how classy this organization is, our fans have been legit trash sometimes. So I just want to make sure that, especially that we have influence, bro. Twitter is a real thing. Players are looking at our Twitter's accounts. They're blocking us on Twitter. They're retweeting our quote tweets, everything.
You know who
So
got blocked from Andrew
yeah,
Thomas's Twitter account?
Biggie,
That it made
Biggie.
no sense. Yeah. Yeah, ooh, that made no
Yo,
sense to
yo,
me.
Tana said a funny thing. He said, "Listen, you shouldn't be mad. I mean, that's his job. He
That's what he
blocks.
that's what he gets paid to do.
That's what he gets paid to do."
What up, Taj? How you doing,
But
man?
I think that's a Ward situation. I think he's just blocking random Giants people. You know what I mean?
Or
So
he could literally, yeah, he could be just blocking people just to try and focus. You know, somebody brought this up. I saw a tweet about it. Who did we draft last year? Since we drafted him, he hasn't been on Twitter since Cordell Flott. And we're kind of talking cornerbacks. This is the year that everybody said, including myself, that Cordell, we should see more of him because he was small and he was the youngest guy out there.
speaking
He
of
was
that,
also the
we didn't even
smallest.
talk about that. He's gonna win that slot position.
Cordell Flott is doing amazingly well. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
He
Like,
had this was his
if Trey
third day.
Hawkins, yeah, if Trey Hawkins doesn't end up getting that boundary side and we end up with Adoree and Banks, Cordell Flott is gonna do what he was drafted to do. Bro, remember how much we said last year when we drafted, and everybody's like, "Yo, this dude is so small. He's so young. He's not even look like he's gonna start this year." It was always a second year pick, meaning in his sophomore year we're gonna see dividends from it,
Yeah,
and he's looking good. Take it away,
yeah.
JB.
I think this is his fourth day out of 4 out of 6 days he started at slot corner, which is very, very good. And then it was 3 consecutive days. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But Flott has been earning his reps. He had an interception on 3v3s yesterday, and he has had a couple of pass breakups as well. So he's getting there, man. He's looking really good.
And guess what, KB? If even if it is somehow by like a great miracle, we do have 2 starting cornerbacks in the first round this year's draft with Hawkins
Shut
and
up,
Banks,
Josh.
and we have Banks, Adoree, Hawkins as a starting lineup. We're so set for the future in terms of cornerback future because we got Cordell right in the wing from wherever Adoree leaves to take
Yeah,
that slot position.
yeah,
We are another position like last year, like the wide receiver that we're like, yo, it's kind of weak. Now it's like, yo, hold up, they kind of cooking.
yeah,
They're cooking something over here.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
And you know how
with
else they're
youth,
cooking?
with the youth.
With the youth,
Yeah.
with Pro Ray Darnay being one of the best.
He's been the one.
backups
He's been one of the
out
ones
there.
getting cooked. Like you have everyone else cooking, and he's getting cooked. Oh my god, yo, Darnay Holmes. I don't know, like just to let you know, because I know you haven't been like in the details of the training camp. He was a couple days ago. He's with the third team. You know who was playing second team slot corner? Bobby McCain, who's a safety. They kicked his ass to third team. So take
Guess
that.
Darnay Holmes gonna replace Julian Love.
Uh,
He gonna move to
in
safety.
free agency. Yeah, Pro Way Darnay is third string Darnay now. So
Yo, shout out to
hey,
Authentic, man. How you
in the
doing, bro?
building, man. Authentic in the building. What's up, bro?
I just want to say, I know I said it on Twitter, but absolutely love like those short mini videos you did that looked amazing
Well,
during the off season.
the production is absolutely
Insane quality, bro.
I'm telling you.
Insane quality.
I'm telling you.
But yeah, no, getting back to the
James.
cornerback position. What do you think our projected top 3 would be?
I think it's gonna be right now. I think it's gonna be Adoree, Banks, and Flott. But Trey Hawkins we're gonna see bits of him. Like I said, if we face it, we don't face a lot of like wide receivers who are number ones in the slot. But when we do, like we go against the Rams, I think we're gonna see a lot of Adoree in the slot and Trey Hawkins. I think that's where he's gonna get a lot of his playing time. They're gonna try things out there.
We said that we both agree we're gonna see a good amount of split reps and rotations at wide receiver. Do you see that for cornerback as well? You think it's gonna be a bit more stable just because you kind of need that?
I think with the cornerback, you
corner
have
position.
to make it stable. You have to keep the momentum going. It is really hard to play cornerback if you're constantly being subbed in, subbed out. You really got to get the groove of things, and really, especially game by game basis, you really got to get the groove of things. So I think that's what they're gonna do. I think if there's a situation where like I don't know. If a Flott is getting, I don't think they bench Deontay Banks, even if he gives up like 3,000 yards. I think they leave him out there starting, and because it would just look, it'll just look weird if you bench Deontay Banks. Who will be the next guy up? The 6th-round pick, Trey Hawkins. Like that'll be kind of demoralizing. I think his first season.
I wouldn't say I don't think they would do it because this coaching staff will always do what's best for the team. And if that's best for the
I
team, they'll do it.
agree. I agree, but look at the Buffalo Bills situation with Kyer Elam and that I think his name is Benson, the 6th-round corner. I mean, let's be real. Kyer Elam is probably not going to fight back from that situation. I mean, you got benched for a 6th-round pick who was drafted in the same class as you. Like the
No, I get what you're saying, but like, it's not like Dable had any control of that.
I
Dable
definitely
now has
said that.
control of everything.
I definitely said that. What the hell is a flot? We're gonna
You did
find
say
out
that.
this season. We're definitely gonna find out.
Lot in the slot.
I think he's gonna start over. Darnay, bro. Darnay's been getting cooked. Like, first of all, I always said Darnay is the king of training camp because he always like dominates the training camp.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Oh, it was Dane Jackson? Was it Dane Jackson? The 7th-round pick? I think Dane Jackson was a 7th-round pick. But Dane Jackson was a couple years ago, no? I'm talking about like this year. I could be wrong. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying though. Like you could look at Buffalo, but that's not Mr. Dayball. Mr. Dayball is gonna do what's best for the team.
Yeah, but they benched Kyer for like that guy was starting. That guy was starting over Kyer Elam. So I just don't think they're gonna do the same thing. I don't think so.
This is what I'll say. I hope that they don't do anything that like kills his confidence and like stunts his growth, or like do anything prematurely. I want to see what Banks can do.
Christian Benford, Christian Benford, the 6th-round pick. It's literally the same situation we have. They drafted 2 corners, one in the 1st round, one in the 6th round. That 6th-round corner was doing better than the 1st-round corner. They wound up starting that 6th-round corner over the 1st-round corner, which is like demoralizing. It's like, how do you fight back? I mean, of course, it's a test. If you fight back from that, you could beat anything. But right off the bat, I mean, you're really putting your 1st-round corner.
Now, I feel like here's the thing. In that situation, and there are situations where that makes sense, KB. The situation of if like
get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
I can't laugh on stream.
Bro, that's my favorite joke. That's my favorite meme. Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yo, I always think about that clip of Shaq on NBA on TNT, where I forget which player it was, bro. It's obviously it's a bum player. He comes up and Shaq looks at the picture and he just starts screaming "Ni hao," bro. He's like "Ni hao" when the player popped up. I'm like, yo. One of my favorite on-screen former
Shaq
players of anything, bro. Shaq is so funny,
especially when this guy Chuck says something freaking outlandish, like a pause moment, and you see Shaq
or anything about San Antonio women with Chuck,
bro. And then you see Shaq on the other side of the screen just bawling, but he's like not letting anybody see it. Oh my god.
Bro, but I was gonna say there are situations where that makes sense though, KB. Even if it is demoralizing for that 1st-round cornerback. If it's like clearly evident that this 6th-rounder is just outperforming you and it's not close, then you do it. But I'm not saying, and not chat, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all for our situation. I'm just responding to the example KB brought up. Because for me, I think that Deontay, he hasn't been terrible. And I want to see how he continues to show. And like we said, we need to see Trey Hawkins a bit more consistently with the first team guys to see how this continues. And like, yeah, they legitimately have been targeting Deontay in camp. We've seen that. They've legitimately been going at him.
And listen, this was controversial on my channel. A lot of people agree with me, but there were a lot of people that disagree with me as well. I like that. I want that. I want our corners to not feel like, hey, you were a 1st-round pick, so we're going to like give you the world. We are going to, if you want to start with our first team, if you want to be with the veterans, you want to be with the best players on our team, we are going to target you. We're going to treat you like everybody else, and we're going to see what you got. And honestly, I like that. Not that I like that he's struggling. I like that there are teaching moments first thing out of training camp. Like when you have those mistakes, when you get torched, when you miss a jam, those exact moments is when a coach comes up to you and says, "This is what you did wrong. Fix this." And then on top of that, they record training camp. Like it's like film. They record that film. They go over it. You're getting those teaching moments right from the jump. Like I said, literally the first play from Giants training camp, day 1, 11 on 11s, they targeted Deontay Banks. So there's teaching moments out of it. There's lessons out of that. I want to see that. I want to see Deontay Banks get picked on so he can learn when we go into the preseason. I don't want him to have to learn this stuff when they go in the week 6 film study and say, why are you missing this jam? Why are you missing this comeback? Why are you not anticipating that comeback? You know what I'm saying? So like, I want him to get all that stuff out the way now, learn from it, adapt. And so when we get into the season, you won't get torched as much. You know, you're still gonna have a rookie season, you know, unless you do have a Sauce Gardner type season. But you know, I want them to target him. I want them to really test him out in training camp. That's what it's for. That is what training camp is for. It is not for the veterans out there, unless it's a veteran trying to fight for a roster spot. Training camp is not for Dexter Lawrence. It's not for Leonard Williams. It's not for Sterling Shepard. It's not for Saquon Barkley. It's for the
and
rookies.
don't get it helps them get back into football shape. But yeah, it's mostly
For sure.
yeah.
Conditioning is always a part of the game. But what training camp is really for is these rookies and these second year, third year players trying to fight for a roster spot and trying to legitimately get better before the season starts. That's what it's really for, honestly. Like, that's who we're really paying attention to. Who you think we're like, shouting out every play that Saquon does? Like, no, we haven't even heard of Saquon in training camp that much, even though he's making plays, because he's already a star player. We know what he is. It's those other guys that we really want to get to see before the season starts. And you know, that's it is.
Shout out to Ray Vaughn, bro. What's up, man? How you doing? Love
What's
to
going
have you
on,
back.
Ravon?
Football season is really here, and as we're nearing the end of the podcast, last year, KB, when you look at the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball, which would you say was the better side for us in the 2022 season? The offense or the defense? Defense?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh my God. Our offense.
Now we're here. Both sides have improved. That's the crazy thing.
I love that you mentioned this. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I love
both sides have improved, bro.
Yeah.
We literally filled in the biggest hole on both sides. Biggest hole for defense, starting wise, was linebacker, and then depth wise, it was the D line and then the corner. That also got fulfilled. Biggest hole on offense wasn't even tight end, even though we got an amazing tight end. It was just weapon.
Yeah.
We got an amazing tight end, and like we said earlier in the stream, wide receiver core went from being one of the weakest to one of the strongest, just because we have a bunch of really good guys, and I feel like we can get consistent production out of them. And yet we're sitting here looking at what's been happening in training camp, and we're like, is this offense going to be better than the defense? And we have people that are seeing it with their first eyes, people that I trust, like the guys that Talking Giants, saying that this offense might be for real a top 10 offense in the NFL this year.
I was saying this the first, I may have said this before training camp, but I definitely said this after the first day of training camp. I don't like, this was controversial. I want the offense to completely dominate the defense. Like, I know you want to see the wins here and there. And we have seen that. Don't get me wrong. We have seen that, a couple of interceptions here and there, takeaways and batted passes, which is fine. It's fine with me. But I know what this defense is. Of course, we have other guys that just came in, Okereke, Deonte Banks. You know, we have some guys that we're going to see more of, right? Or for the first time with this team. But I know what this defense is. I trust Wink already. What I want to see, because of how bad this offense was last season, I want to see this offense dominate our defense. I don't care. I don't care about, you know, a win here for the offense, a win here for the defense. I want to see this offense absolutely dominate, and they have been fulfilling that. And I am so happy with that, because I said that in the first day of training camp. I want the offense to dominate the defense all training camp, because that shows me that they are adapting, they're learning, and they're changing things around. They're going to be a lot better this season on offense. And that's what I want to see. Bro, I can't go another season defending Daniel Jones if he has 11 touchdowns. I can't do it. I have to see more explosive plays. I got to see
Bro's going to have 4,500 all-purpose yards and like 25 to 30 all-purpose touchdowns, bro. Trust.
I hope so, because your boy has been, my back is hurting from defending him.
Well, we don't have to worry about it anymore. Once again, like, he did what we wanted him to last year, bro. We don't got to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. But I want to see him have a legitimate, like, quarterback stat season. Like, I want to see around 30 touchdowns. I want to see around 4,000 yards, maybe 4,500 all-purpose yards. Like, I want to see that, and like maybe like something somewhere around 30 to 35, or maybe even close to 40. All
you know what I want?
Touchdowns, total touchdowns.
I want these second-rate, know-it-all, think they're so good, think they're hot shit people on TV to stop playing with the Giants names. I'm
Oh
talking
god.
about, I think his name is Jason McIntyre on FS1 with Colin
Bro, that
Cowherd.
guy is such a
I'm talking
clown.
about,
I
wait, let me
hate
finish.
that
I'm not
guy.
even finished.
Oh my
I'm
god.
talking about, for some reason, Joy Taylor has an agenda against the Giants. She was straight.
And that's a
Just
shame because she's fine as hell, man. I love
she
her.
was straight just
Oh my
shitting
god.
on Daniel Jones for like 2 straight weeks on TV and
Yo,
the Giants.
she also goes off on the Cowboys
Her
too, but
her entire panel on that show, it's not first things first. To
who is
speak
she?
for yourself, her entire panel, they do not like the Giants. I think LaShawn McCoy is on there as well, which is a shame because
Obviously.
I love LaShawn McCoy as a player. Like, he was one of my favorite running backs.
He's the Eagle guy though. That's why.
But like all of these guys, like, y'all need to stop playing with the Giants name, bro. Like, it's actually it's just haterade. It's just straight hating,
Yeah.
especially with Jason McIntyre.
Bro, did you hear what Jason McIntyre was
He
saying?
was like, they're garbage or something like that.
No. Well, not only that, he's like, yeah, no, the Giants are garbage. But he said before that, he's like, the Raiders or something like that. Do they trade? Was it the Raiders? Do they trade for Brian Dable? Bitch, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah, it
about?
was him.
Oh my god. Oh my god. My brain. Yo, Colin Cowherd looked at this man like, the fuck. And Cowherd says some.
Colin Cowherd be
stupid
saying
stuff.
some wild
He be
stuff,
saying,
man.
bro, if you get a weird look from Colin Cowherd, you know you said some outlandish shit, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm just trying to get with Liv for real.
Who's Liv?
Liv Cowherd.
Oh, bro, yeah. She really about that. But but I was gonna say something, man. I was gonna say something. I completely lost my train of thought.
I was saying, like, that's what I want. I just want people on TV to stop playing with the Giants name because it was fun for a little bit. Clearly, you could tell it was the in thing after 2017 when they went downhill. It was the in thing to hate on the Giants because they're a cornerstone of the NFL, so it's a hot topic when they're doing trash. All right, now calm down, bro. Like, y'all are doing too much. Hop
Oh
off.
yeah,
Blaze is getting crazy.
what I was gonna say is Daniel Jones and like the hate towards him. Like, I know the Giants Twitter, especially in the offseason before he got signed, we were like, it was split, divided. Of course, you had some people in the middle, but it was like, bro, it was like you're either with Daniel Jones or you're not with Daniel Jones, and it was kind of like a war zone on Twitter. I haven't seen much of that. I haven't been in the spaces lately. Maybe if you guys,
Authentic, apparently, I don't know if it was about that, but he
I
said
don't know
he
if you're
told me
still in here, but
he
you
was
can
screaming
let me
in
know
the spaces.
who.
Authentic said he was screaming in the spaces, so I don't know if
He
it
was
was about
screaming.
Daniel Jones, but he was
Oh, he
screaming
did.
something. So
Yo,
clearly, there's still
if
stuff going
Authentic
on.
has to raise his voice, his shit got crazy. But I don't know if it's still like that in the spaces with Daniel Jones, but it's impossible to hate the guy right now. How can you? Like, what more does he have to show you right now? As of right now, obviously the season didn't start right now. If there was any way he can show you in training camp alone that he's worth the contract, would it not be what he's doing right now? Would it not be what he's doing right now? There's no reason to hate Daniel. If you're still hating on Daniel Jones right now, like, you're showing your true colors. Like, you're showing your complete bias against him. And so it's like there's nothing to hate on him right now. There's no you have no reason to. Now, if we get into the season and he starts like acting a fool, he starts, playing terribly, then obviously you have something. And it's okay to be skeptical as well. It's still okay to be skeptical, but it's not okay to keep like throwing around, dragging him around the way everybody's been doing in the offseason. You shouldn't be doing it now. I don't know if that's still the case, but I'm just like putting a PSA out there, like, just stop. Just stop. He's gonna be with us for a couple more years, guaranteed. So we'll see what happens with that. But he's putting in the work, man. You can see he's absolutely throwing dimes out there. He's not throwing passes that get intercepted all the time. So
Yeah.
Yep. So go ahead.
Man.
Yeah, go ahead and put you guys at last. It's already 11 o'clock, man. Time flew, to be honest with you. But this has been a great live. We had a good amount of concurrent viewers. You guys are awesome. First stream back in a very long time. Thank you guys for joining in. Make sure you guys leave your comments and questions before we end this thing off. We'll probably give it about 5 more minutes. We'll end it off at like 11:15 or so. But you guys,
Banks is gonna be okay. Trey Hawkins may be a stud. Banks 6'2", Hawkins 6'3". Put him on the outside. Let Adoree lock down the slot. AZ and 5 have to go to the next level. Talking about Aziz and Kayvon. Like we said, I think that would be the best case scenario if we somehow get 2 starting boundary corners out of this draft. But I think we're gonna be fine even if we don't. And then I for sure think, knock on wood, if both of them can stay healthy, they're gonna cause havoc with Aziz and Kayvon.
I'm more concerned about Aziz than I am Kayvon. as far as health goes. But should they be healthy? Somebody asked me in my comments today, like where do you see Aziz if he's completely healthy, and where do you see Aziz and Kayvon if they're
Maybe.
mhm.
Something I completely forgot. It might not be directly related to their injuries, but just injuries with the Giants in general. We got a change in turf this year. It's going to be the first season with the
Yeah,
new turf. I
yeah, yeah.
completely forgot about that. That's actually going
It's
to have an
still
effect.
it's still not natural grass like what I wanted
Yeah,
it to be,
but
but I think
apparently it is
I don't
supposed
think
to
they
be way
can make
better.
it. I don't think they can make it natural grass. But I think they keep switching out the turfs because the Giants and Jets they play together. So I think that's why they keep switching out. They're gonna keep switching out the turfs because now we got our logo at the middle of the field, and I like it.
Thank you
I love
so.
it.
Like, why?
Yes,
Why did it take more
so
than
long.
12 years, bro? It made
Why do we
no
have the
sense.
NFL symbol there? Like there are other teams who share stadiums and they don't even do that. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Chargers and Rams, but it's like it made no sense. When the Chargers and Rams started sharing a stadium, we should have automatically just moved to the logo thing.
Yeah,
It's just the only thing I don't like about the logo. People are saying they want like the Giants
Giants.
one that shows on the throwback, which is actually really nice.
That one
But
is
I
too long.
want
That may be too long.
I don't want the NY with the blue background. I want the NY with the red background. I think that would look better on the field. I think it would pop more on the
Oh
field.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's just
I
me.
don't mind that. I love the retro legacy feel that we had. Oh my god, it looks so
The
good.
legacy field is so
And we
amazing.
saw that in person. Me and you, we saw that in
I
person.
actually
That made
that's what I'm
me feel like
saying.
I was in a 1990s football game, bro. Like I have a picture of my dad and my mom at a Giants game back then, and it
Mhm.
looks just like what we saw there. It was just awesome to see. It was awesome to see. But But yeah, let's see. Adori's contract. This is Adori's contract year. He is not going to be happy putting up slot corner tape in the season, messing with his money with the slot.
Well,
Obviously,
realistically speaking, how much
obviously,
money was he gonna get even?
slot corners are like kind of like valued in, especially now in nowadays NFL.
And I was gonna say, realistically speaking, it's gonna be like his second no, his third
Third
contract, right? Rookie deal.
rookie
Second one was
deal,
with us.
big
This will be his
contract.
third one. He
Yeah,
wasn't gonna make huge money. Like, still, obviously, money is money.
yeah.
But and I don't think he's has a problem with it too much because Adori, he's not a very outspoken guy. But like when you see him in the videos on the Giants channel and stuff, like
It's not
looks
only that
pretty chill.
I think
Looks
he's put
good.
up enough outside tape for him to really be. He still get an outside corner
Yeah.
job if he were to go get if he
Especially last year when he was really put to the test after Bradbury was gone, and he did a good
like
job. And then the
he'll
year
get it.
before, where he outperformed Bradbury.
Honestly, this may help him because if you look at 2 years ago, Adoree was on the outside at cornerback 2, then this year he's at cornerback 1. Now we're gonna see a little bit this year of him at cornerback. I guess you could say cornerback 3, but in the slot. So he's gonna be all around. So that I think that should help him out a little bit. That he's a lot more versatile than most corners are. So, all right, guys, we're gonna end this out. Thank you guys for joining in. You guys are awesome, and thank you for supporting the comeback of the Young Guns.
Thank you guys so much, man.
I will be back on my channel tomorrow for Giants. I believe they practice tomorrow. Could be wrong, but I think they only have like 3, maybe 4 public practices left, which is so sad to see because I want to see every bit of practice. But I think they have like 3 or 4 more practices left for the public. So that being said, guys,
Yo, thank y'all so much,
yeah,
man. It's been 7 months since Young Guns. It's been 7 months since I've been on YouTube. I'm trying to hop back on, do some streaming. I might do an update video just on like more detail on what's been going on the past couple of months. Why I've come back later than I was supposed to, because I was supposed to come back right after graduation. But I appreciate you guys. I said it earlier in the stream. I love the fact that you guys are continuing showing us love and appreciation and coming back. After it's been so long since we've been on here, man. You guys like make it very worth it.
yeah, and I also want to give a huge shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for so constantly like I got the same like people who's been with me for years now, and it's awesome to see. I've seen in my comments a lot of people are like, "Yo, it's crazy how much like, especially like physically, they've seen me grow," and it's also I just love like I growing with you guys. I've been on YouTube for a while, and just another season, in the books, and I can't wait to start this next season with you guys. But thank you guys for all the support, man. You guys mean the world to us. You're the reason why we do this thing. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Don't worry, man. Don't worry, guys. We'll be back next week, and I will
Oh
be
yeah,
back tomorrow.
next week I saw somebody ask next time I'm streaming next week. I'll see. I won't have a chance next Tuesday, unfortunately, to do what you call it, to
Just
do
chilling.
just chilling because I'm still gonna be on a little bit of a vacation. But next Wednesday, I'm gonna be right back for Young Guns. So don't worry about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. We will see you guys later. Oh shit.